today's video, I want to give a shout out to Discotech Media for expanding my horizon of different retro anime. They may be oldies, but they are good. Thanks for providing with awesome anime. Eight Men After OVA is based on the manga and television anime series from the early 1960s. The Tyler character is actually Japan's first superhero and cyborg, setting the groundwork for the tokusatsu show Kamen Rider and the anime Cyborg 009. The OVA was released from August 21st, 1993 until November 22nd, 1993 with 4 episodes. This is another anime like Angel Cop and Project Echo that is owned by Discotech Media. You can watch them all on RETROCRUSH app. All you have to do is download the app on ISO or Android. Oh, last time it's pronounced Discotech. If you didn't notice that, that's fine. Just thought I'd point that out. Now let's get into the story, 8 Men After. A city is under siege. People are being attacked by criminals with cybernetic enhancements and the police can barely take them down. We get into our main character by the name of Isaro Hazame, a private investigator that is hired by Professor Tani to find out who is stealing cyborg parts. He meets and goes on a date with Sachiko Yagawa. He asks her about a famous researcher that went missing, but she says she doesn't know anything. Later that night, she is interrogated and tortured by a cyborg by the name of Tony Gleck. Hazama intervenes and is mortally wounded by taking the cyborg out the window with him. At the hospital, Hazama's vitals flatline, signaling that he's dead, but the police chief Tanaka gets a call from Professor Tani telling him to act like everything is okay. Another cop by the name of Ichiro is escorting Sachiko home along with a kid named Sam O'Connor that Hazama is helping, but they are then attacked by some thugs. Then 8 Man shows up and defeats them all. Sachiko couldn't believe her eyes because it's revealed that she was the love interest to the previous 8 Man. The police don't believe that it's 8 Man because he hasn't been seen for quite some time. Hazama then shows up without a scratch on him. More of Hazama's backstory is revealed on why he doesn't like the police. He had killed several detectives years ago that are tied to an underground crime boss that killed his fiancée right in front of him, but it couldn't be either proven or disproven. Sachiko wants to help, but Hazama states that it's too dangerous, but she insisted. In a private location, Tony Gluck is punished by a mysterious Mr. Halloween because Hazama is still alive somehow. Sachiko and Hazama sneak into biotech and he covertly uses his cybernetic abilities to hack into the system, but triggers an alarm and knockout gas. Sachiko passes out and Hazama transforms into 8 Man and escapes with her. Sachiko wakes up in Sam's apartment and he tells her that she is safe there. Sam then stumbles upon his father being on TV. At Tani's lab, 8 Man doesn't know what went wrong back at the biotech. Dr. Tani states that 8 Man should not succumb to human emotions because that's what happened to the previous 8 Man. Hazama heads out for a lead, but he then sets off booby traps with bombs and transforms into the 8 Man. He chased down who is responsible and took them down. Sam and Sachiko buy tickets to the football game to where his dad, O'Connor, might be at. He finally sees him, but something is off. O'Connor has cybernetic enhancements as well as his teammates. They were given some drugs to increase their tendency to be hostile. They attack the audience and Hazama gets flashbacks on what happened to his fiancée and turns into the 8 Man. Sachiko sees that 8 Man is more violent than before and kills most of the attackers. Sachiko begs him to stop. She calls him a monster and she figured out that she is not the man she loved. Dr. Tani tells Hazama that he override his programming due to the human attachment and he doesn't know when it will happen again. Several flashbacks go into Hazama's past, showing him on his one-man crusade of the people who killed his fiancée. Later, Sam makes it back with his father and Hazama ties him down to keep him safe. Tony Gluck confronts the mayor, which revealed to be Mr. Halloween, and the board of directors vote him out. Later, Sachiko confronts Hazama on being the 8 Man until he sees a scar, but Hazama tries to kiss her, but she pushes him away. Sam's dad knows that Hazama is the 8 Man and asks if he looks after Sam. Dr. Tani figures out Mr. Halloween's identity and the police storm to biotech to arrest him, but they find out that he was turned into a cyborg and attacked him. He has the police pinned down until 8 Man shows up. He finds a bomb inside Mr. Halloween while the police got out in time. He grabs 8 Man and detonates with 8 Man surviving. Meanwhile, Tony's cyborg goons follow Sachiko and Sam, confirming that Hazama is still alive. O'Connor, Sam's dad, protects them, but it wasn't enough and they kidnap Sachiko. Isaro exposits to the chief that Tony is in charge now and he's going to finish what he started and wants no one in his way. Tony's body is pretty much turned into a cyborg after taking over. A computer tells him that Tony's body is falling apart, that he needs the 8 Man brought in one piece to secure Tony's survival. Heizama finds O'Connor and gets him to Dr. Tanny in time, and he is healed up, but O'Connor knows that his body is falling apart and wants to know how much time he has left. Heizama finds Tony and reveals that he used the 8-man to Sachiko. The fight begins as 8-man destroys Tony's cyborgs and proceeds to rescue Sachiko, but Tony manages to capture 8-man. O'Connor shows up and frees 8-man before he dies, asks for Sam to be looked after. 8-man and Tony begin to fight. Ultimately, Tony's body couldn't hold on and he exploded. With things taken care of, Heizama leaves town with Sam. In the epilogue, Sachiko finds them jokingly stating that they need a receptionist. 8-Man After is a continuation of the franchise with the already established universe, with certain characters reprising their previous roles. Returning some history of the previous shows was explored. I wouldn't be surprised if this anime would be adapted or certain aspects would turn into a motion picture, but I highly doubt it since it would be overshadowed by DC, Marvel, or a lackluster comedy. Heizama's vengeance is what drove his character and tried to expose biotech, but he was presumed dead when Tony gave him wounds beyond healing. When he was saved and turned to 8-Man, he often was conflicted with his programming and his emotions. As I stated before, he's not the first 8-Man and was more violent than the last one. He was willing to kill to achieve his goals, but by the end he turned into a hero. During the epilogue, he continues his job as a private investigator, and now he's the sole guardian of Sam after Sam's dad, O'Connor, gave his life saving 8-Man. It's the least he can do. Sachiko, I feel like she's still grieving over her lost loved one, Haichiro Azuma, the original 8-Man. In the earlier incarnation, the original 8-Man kept his identity a secret. I guess by the end, she got over Haichiro, and is now with Heizama and Sam. The villains, Tony Gluck and Mr. Halloween, were always going to portray each other. Tony just ended up doing it first before him. I don't know why the big-time crime bosses get smart, low-level scum that'll eventually turn on him or make things worse for the city. Another sequel manga called 8-Man Infinity ran from 2005 to 2007 with 6 volumes. What I can find on the internet about the series was written in French, so I translated it on Google as much as I could, and it reads, Koshi Hagashi decides to put himself in danger to save a young woman from a terrible accident. Unfortunately, he finds himself between life and death, nailed to a hospital bed. His salvation, he owes it to the strange artifact, the 8, which gives him the powers to change into an extraordinary humanoid machine. He will quickly discover that his power he inherited from a former private detective, a man of legends, who now relies on him to counter a strange organization. That's all I can find as of now on that. But there is a 8-Man live action movie that I didn't know about. There's an English dub of it actually. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it for free. As of right now. But overall, 8-Man After is a good and quick OVA to get through with no problem following the story. But what do you guys think? If you've seen it and had some points that I missed, please let me know. And if you have any anime out there that you want me to review, please let me know. And I'll make a consideration. 9 times out of 10, I'll do it. It's because that just pushes me to make more content. Like always, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you all next time.